What's going on, guys? Steele here, and today we have the new AI aircraft carriers Devblog. This is the probably most exciting thing for me this update, next to the Striker coming to the American Tech Tree, which we all saw in the dev stream. Of course, we don't have a Devblog on that yet, but we are going to go over this Devblog a little bit more informed than I actually had just recorded it. I just actually went to go vote, considering today is election day, and it actually took not that long. There was not that many people there, so I got in and out. So I'm going to record this properly. We're going to go through this a little bit more in length than like the 2 minutes that I did. Also because it's a pretty big thing to me, although, I mean, there's not much to it. But yeah, so we have 3 new carriers. We have HMS Ark Royal, the Baku, which is a Soviet era. I believe this was a, is this like a Kirov class destroyer or something that was converted into an angled deck, like assault carrier, basically. I don't know too much about Soviet Cold War ship design. Somebody will most likely correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure this was some form of an actual warship that was then modified to have an angled deck. And then we also have USS Forestall, which is probably the second most basic. I think the Ark Royal is probably the most basic. So yeah. So in case you haven't already eagle-eyed in, you can tell that there are some aircraft on the British and Russian carrier that have not been announced officially yet. They have been hinted to. Whether you've seen it on a Discord or on the dev stream or in Devblog, something. So we're going to first look at Ark Royal, and as you can see, this is, as my Discord is kind of researched for me. Originally, I thought it was the Sea Vixen, but the Sea Vixen has a twin boom. This is actually the Blackburn Buccaneer, which, honestly, that model, even just from this distance, already looks fucking beautiful. Like, look at that. That already looks amazing. So, new jet for Britain confirmed. You can see there's Harriers and the Sea Phantom, I believe is the name. It's like the FG1 or FG Mark 1. So we have Buccaneers, Harriers, and Phantoms. And obviously, one major thing that is going to be with these carriers, not only in the fact that they are much larger ships and they have angled decks, is they have a catapult system, which on the dev server, when Mike took off in, I believe it was an F3H Demon, it seemed a little goofy because the ship was like slightly turning, I think, and he actually launched like kind of off center. That was actually on Forestall. He kind of launched off center rather than down the rail. So let's hope that they actually get the catapult working properly, so you don't take off and go like kind of sideways off the catapult and possibly like short hit and like hit something on the front. So let's hope that they sort that out. The British carrier looks really interesting because, and I've never seen this because I never paid too much attention to British carriers, but their catapult like actually goes down. So it must be when the plane reaches that little crease, it kind of rips off of the what's it called? The gear. There's a specified word that we use in my job when we're de-icing planes. The I don't know. We'll just go with the undercarriage by the nose wheel. There's a specific little thing that it hooks onto, and it just stops right here at the end. So the Ark Royal seems that it will have. I assume that you will be able to take off of these in maps. I wonder if Gaijin is going to introduce some maps specifically towards these aircraft carriers. I'm not entirely sure. I am currently, as I believe I showed everyone, I think it was another mission in a video the other day with the Harrier. I'm making a Falklands War mission, and I actually had to do a little bit of overhaul to it for how it kind of flows. It's nowhere near done. I don't even think I'll have it done in time of the update. Because there's a lot of little details, a lot of little warship things related to warships, basically, that are getting tweaked. But fuck, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, the Ark Royal only has 2 catapults, it seems. So if you're in an actual match, with these, are only 2 players going to be able to hook up to the catapult at a time if there's an Ark Royal, and then for the Americans, I believe there's 3 on Forestall. I don't believe there's 4. No, there is. It looks to be, yeah, there is 4 on Forestall, and then Baku doesn't have any because it's VTOL and helicopter centered. So if there's an Ark Royal, are 2 players going to have to spawn behind them and then walk up to the catapult and then take off? I have no idea. I think Gaijin on the dev server basically had it similar to actual aircraft carriers in game right now, where there's just like a speed boost that the game gives you when you're on like the back end of the carrier to get you in the air, and that's actually for props. Actually, that's always been in the game for props to kind of simulate a headwind almost. But as a matter of fact, I've actually, because I mess around in custom battles a lot, I've actually taxied jets to kind of the midsection or almost possibly right towards the front of the aircraft carrier. I know some of them in game have a catapult texture, like the British, the Illustrious. And if I gave the ship a 30-knot speed, it simulates almost like a 30-knot headwind, albeit the ship it only is moving, and it will actually give you an extra like 30 knots or so of speed on takeoff, and it can make takeoffs possible without that little boost that they give you in the back. So it's kind of interesting how they've had it for years. Hopefully the catapults aren't just an artificial number, because if you're taxiing around the carrier and then you all of a sudden you go up to the catapult and you just get flung like 300 miles an hour into the sky when you didn't even mean to, it's going to be really goofy. So hopefully there's like an actual proper multifunction menu possibly function to these aircraft carriers, specifically for Ark Royal and Forestall. So yeah, looking at Baku now is, as you can tell, there is some guns, some rocket launchers. I believe those are normal rocket launchers. And then we have Yak 38Ms, because they talk about it in the description of it here. The heavy aircraft carrying cruiser of the, so yeah, it was a cruiser. Project 1143.4, for whatever reason. Design Baku was built in 1986 and was soon enlisted into the Soviet Navy. During her military service, she performed combat missions in the Black, Mediterranean, and Barents Seas and took part in exercises. The ship's aircraft group included vertical takeoff and landing Yak-38M aircraft, as well as anti-submarine deck helicopters. So we might actually, considering they've been messing around with their submarines, we might get a full-blown cold waters type, but like War Thunder style. And the Ka-52 might actually, or not Ka-52, sorry, Ka-29 will be able to carry possibly anti-sub warfare weapons and anti-ship missiles at some point. Who knows? Let's see. Where did I read? In 1990, the aircraft-carrying cruiser was renamed Admiral of the Soviet Union Fleet Gorshkov, and it was used to test the supersonic VTOL Yak-141. And in 2000, the ship was sold to India. So this is actually India's ship now. That's why I knew I kind of recognized it. After a series of upgrades for the needs of the Indian Navy, in 2013, the ship was transferred to India, where she received the name Vikramaditya. I can't speak that. Can't pronounce that. It's close enough. And obviously down here we have Forestall, which is built in 1954 and based off of, experience in World War II. I was kind of hoping for a Midway class aircraft carrier actually as well, just for that kind of bridge the gap for more like F2H Banshee and F9F kind of carriers, or like maybe they would rework one of the Enterprise models into an S6. That would have been cool as well. So in the future we might still get more aircraft carriers to play around with. So I know I'm going to have a lot of fun with these. Series of tests of the American C-130. They actually took off and landed on the Forestall several times. There was an accidental fire. Vietnam War. A guy I work with actually served on USS Oriskany, which is not in the same class, I don't believe. I don't believe they are actually the same carrier. I believe Oriskany was just a modified Essex class with an angled deck, rather than a proper modern carrier like this. And I remember him telling me stories about Forestall and Oriskany and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really interesting aircraft carrier. I might actually show him when I go back to work. When the update comes back, I'll show him that they put some carriers in the game. He's an older guy, so he probably won't care too much, but I think he would find it interesting that they put such a massive carrier in a game like this. So yeah, that's a little bit more in depth, possibly maybe a bit too long. I didn't time it or anything, so I don't know. But it was definitely a lot quicker than me just saying, "Hey, there's 3 carriers, cool." so yeah, we've got new carriers, new aircraft that haven't even been announced. So that's the Buccaneer and the Yak-38. I don't know where the Yak-38 would go other than the Yak tree. They don't really have a naval, like the Russian tech tree doesn't really have a naval separated thing. So for all of you like me who have not even bothered with the Yak tree, if you want something like this, it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass grind, but it would be a really cool plane to have regardless. And of course, at some point, if they add the Yak 141 into War Thunder, which they most likely will, I don't know how advanced it actually was, that might also be in that tree as well. So yeah, the last thing that I want to know is, will these carriers have defenses? Because obviously you can see that Forestall does have some what look like modernized Fletcher turrets of some sort, most likely the 127mm caliber. The Russians have what looks to be probably 76mm. I don't think that's actually 130. And the Ark Royal seems to be completely defenseless. I don't believe Ark Royal has any weapon systems on it, actually, other than obviously its aircraft. So yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait to swap out the HMS Illustrious, I believe it is, in War Thunder for an Ark Royal, and we get to mess around in a Falklands war scenario. Obviously, it's on Saipan, so it's gonna look really stupid. And then I have another idea, considering we have the Baku, for a cold waters type scenario on the Denmark map, which would involve USS Forestall and Baku, the submarines, because currently I can actually place them in the CDK. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah. Anyways, as always, guys, I will put the Devblog link in the description for you to get your wallpapers and take a look and take a read, and also gawk at the absolute chonker that is the Buccaneer. So yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Steel Wolf, and I'll see you all next time.